what? Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? It's a new day. It's a new vlog. What's up? Welcome to Passion Unchained. It's Joe helping you live a passionate life that you love, that is fulfilling. If you want to know what I mean by passionate life, guess what? Yesterday I put out a video defining all that shit because passion is a word that a lot of people use in a lot of different ways, and I wanted to be clear about how I'm using it. Today I'm going to talk about why you're going to fuck up and why that's an okay thing. So, subject, I wrote notes about this one. You're going to fuck up. First of all, failure equals feedback. It's okay that you're going to fuck up because, especially if it's something new, you're not going to be good at it. It's something you haven't done before. So why the hell are you expecting yourself to be good at something? Now, I understand sometimes it hurts. It's humiliating. You're scared of failure. You're scared of not getting what you want. But Tony Robbins has a great analogy. When you're a baby and you first try to walk, how many of you got it right the first time? Hands up. Hands up. Obviously, I don't see whether your hands are up, but I imagine none of your hands are up because none of you got it right the first time, right? You crawled, and when you tried to stop crawling, you fell down, at least the first time, if not the first many times. But 0 people look at that baby, you're like, you know what? You failed the last 10 times you tried to walk. You're never going to walk. You should probably just give up. Nobody does that because we understand that for walking, it's something, failure is not the end result. I like this other thing. I think Dan Pena says this. I don't remember who says this. I want to give credit to the person I heard this from. I don't remember who it was, but FAIL stands for first attempt in learning. And that is especially true when you think about walking. I really like that analogy, that picture in your head. Put this picture in your mind every time you're afraid of starting something or afraid of failing, afraid of sucking at something because you're going to suck. The picture of the baby walking. Are you going to tell that baby, don't try because you failed so many times, you're not going to make it? Are you going to tell that baby that? Or are you going to be like, you know what, that's okay. Let me get you back up. That's okay. You're learning. Let me, maybe we'll start by I'll like kind of put my arms next to you so that as you're walking, I'll help you, right? I'll help you not fall over. And then I'll put my hands further and further away until you're walking on your own. That is what I would do. And that's what I imagine any person who's listening to this will do. Unless you're a horrible person, in which case, don't listen to my stuff. But I digress. So, I'm going to share some things I failed at when I first tried doing things because why not? I think it's important to model the behavior and be vulnerable with you guys so you guys can trust me more and understand what I mean. So, things I failed at. I said in another video that I entitled, I believe, when you're not ready for an opportunity, ... a couple weeks ago. And in that one, I talked about one opportunity to be a president of a club. Actually, it was 2 clubs at the same semester. The former heads of the clubs came up to me and were like, Joe, we really need you to be in charge of these clubs. And I was like, I'm not ready for it, but I'm going to say yes anyway. And one of them in particular, I didn't know how to be a president. The other one I did really well at from the get-go and had other issues, namely my ego and controlling behavior. But in this particular one, it was me not taking charge enough. In the groups, I would help the vision of it. I would share this is what I want. I would lead to an extent, but then I would also sit back and then participate. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but in this case, it was like I was really comfortable with the role of being a member. I didn't really know how to be a president, so I sucked at being a president in that particular club. It was good at leading it to a certain extent, but I also did a really bad job during the meetings of leading it. I would lead in the beginning and lead in the end, but then in the middle of it, I would like participate like I was a member. And the other people on the executive board were like, why are you participating? Like, why are you acting like you're a member? Like, we're creating this club. We're using this club to give to other people. Like, it's kind of weird for you to take the attention of the club when you're supposed to be giving the members this attention? And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. So that was one way I sucked at first, and of course I improved upon that. It was great feedback on like, hey, like you're not stepping into the role that you're supposed to be stepping into. Okay, cool. That's me falling down. Let me get back up and start leading and sit back during the meetings, because I'm not a member. I mean, I am a member, but I'm also the president, and I want to give the floor to my members. So that was an example of one time where I sucked at doing what I was supposed to do. Another time is Uber. Right now, I'm amazing at Uber. I was actually doing some Uber coaching. I was getting into that. Decided to move on to focus on only one thing at a time, which is photography. But when I first started doing Uber, I sucked really badly. And what I mean by that is I did weird things with the people in the car. I would be extremely strict. Like they'd get in the car and they'd be like, "Seatbelts on now!" And I would like wait until they put their seatbelts on. That's not necessarily bad. Technically, it's like covering my ass legally, but I know I'm a good driver, and I know that they're going to put their seatbelt on. If they don't, like I'll be like, "Hey, put your seatbelt on, please." It's kind of weird for me to be like putting my foot down and being like, I need you to listen to me. And then I noticed at some point that it wasn't so much that I really wanted them to put on their seatbelt. And don't get me wrong, it's important to have your seatbelt on. It wasn't the fact that I asked them to put on their seatbelt. It was the particular manner in which I did it. I realized it was less of me wanting them to put their seatbelt on and more of me feeling nervous. I would particularly do it with more rowdy passengers, and it was a way of me like asserting my dominance over my car. Which I'm not saying that as a bad thing. It's actually a very important thing, because especially when you have drunk people in your car and it's your car, you need to create an air of, this is my space. You're in my car. I'm going to give you a good service, but also don't mess up my car. And also, I set the rules here. And that's important. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm not saying that asserting my dominance over my space is a bad thing. In fact, it's a really, really important key of being an Uber driver. But the way I was doing it was unnecessary and created animosity. And I got a lot of bad reviews because like sometimes I wouldn't let people open the window. Now I let people open the window unless it's the highway, because that's very annoying. And then I'm like, hey, and then I'm a lot more empathetic about it now, because I don't feel threatened in my car. I know that if I need to tell somebody to do something or stop doing something, which isn't very often, I can do it. But I failed at first. I put my foot down way too often. I was way too strict and rigid because I didn't know how to assert myself in my car. And that was me learning to assert myself in my car. It was me learning to take dominance over the space that my passengers are in and provide a good service too. You have to do both. But to create a good service, you have to make a space that you're in control of so you can keep the passengers safe, especially if they're drunk and not completely cognizant of their actions. So I sucked at first going way overboard in that and being like, no, you're doing this now, or I'm kicking you out of the car. And it's like, you don't have to be that intense, Joe. So I sucked at that at first. That's another thing I sucked at. Number 3 is I still suck at this sometimes, talking to girls. So in talking to girls, like what I mean is hitting on them and being like, yo, like, are we a match? Can we be a thing? Like, you're attractive. Are you attracted to me? Are you single? Are you available? Do you want to grab a drink? That is this. You don't really need to go more than that. But there are some times where I did some really stupid things, including recently. I can easily think of some stupid things I did at the beginning of when I started getting over my anxiety and talking to girls. But right now, I'm going to talk about something that is very recent because I think it helps show that even if you've been doing something for a long time and gotten really good at it, you can still suck. You can still fail in a lot of ways and at a lot of times. And I think it's important to be like, okay, like, yeah, I can still, it's okay that I suck even if I consider myself really good at something. It's okay if every now and then I suck at something. It's good feedback so then I can improve. And in this particular case, I was at a cafe here in Austin, and there's this really cute girl. And one of the things that I've taught myself, that I've trained myself, is if a girl is sexy enough that I feel I have a physical reaction in my body, like I have excitement of like I really want to look at her, I really like her, how she looks. There are certain girls that make me feel that. There's attractiveness, and then there's like a level of attractiveness that makes me feel excitement. That makes me feel like, oh, I really, really like her. And so that's the level of attractiveness that I've trained myself. If I see that, and she's like, and yeah, sure, maybe over time I can be comfortable with it if she's with her phone, if she's on the phone, or if she's with a friend, etc. I can get comfortable doing it. But right now, it's like if she's that attractive and it's like she's not on her phone or whatever, then I instantly just go and I ask her and say, hey, you're really gorgeous, and are you single? And it's very simple and very easy. And somebody just dropped off a package, and not a big deal once you get over your anxieties. And that's not necessarily easy for a lot of people. For me, it took a long time, but with consistent effort, now it's just easy. But this one time I was more nervous than usual because she was in a group, and I'm more nervous talking to girls in a group. It was guys and girls in this big old group, and of course they all stopped when I walked up to her. I was nervous. I'm like, I have to. She's really cute. She's making me feel all these feelings. She's making me feel some type of way, and I have to go up to her and I have to talk to her and see if she's single. And I go up to her and I'm like, hey, I know this is weird, but you're really gorgeous, and I wanted to say that would you want to grab a bite sometime? I don't want to bother you and your friends. You guys are hanging out. Would you want to grab a bite? And she's like, no, like, I have a boyfriend. And I choked up, and I was like, okay, take the compliment, and I left. And it was funny because I meant to say like no problem. I meant to say something like no problem, like, take it as a compliment. I meant to say take it as a compliment instead of take the compliment, but I stumbled over my words, and it came out like I was bitter, and I came out like a fuck you, like take the compliment, bitch, like fuck that shit, and then I like left, and I'm like, and as I left, this one of the guys, I heard one of the guys in the table say, "What a dick," and I'm like, I didn't mean it that way. I didn't mean it that way. Man, that's a oh man, I meant like, okay, no problem. Like, that's fine. Like, let me go where I was going. Like, it's no big deal. That's what I meant to say, but I choked over my words because I was nervous. And even with the experience that I have with girls and with hitting on girls, which I know is a lot of people look up to me for and ask me for advice on, like, even with the experience, like, I fuck up majorly sometimes. Like, I do real stupid mistakes, like, take the compliment. Like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, oh my God, it's hilarious. So even saying it now is kind of funny, and I like being open about that because it makes me feel authentic. It makes me feel like real appreciative of where I am, because I'm human and I will suck sometimes, and that's okay. And that's what I need you to realize, that it's not a huge deal to suck. Sure, like, there are certain things that if you're like a surgeon and you suck, it's like, well, that's got huge consequences. Or if you're a tightrope walker and you're going between skyscrapers and you suck, well, it's like, there are certain things that you sucking at has grave consequences, but almost everything in your life, there's not gonna be any consequences. So I wish you the best. I hope this reaches you well, and looking forward to the next video. Subscribe if you want to. I'm here building a passionate life, and in the process, I'm building a YouTube channel that I can make money from so that I can live a more passionate life. So if you like this channel and you like any of the things that I use, I have my Whoop strap right here. There's an affiliate code I have in the description below. There's an affiliate code for the camera I use, the lens I use, the microphone I use, the shock mount, the mic stand, the light, the other light, the tripods I use, the backup drives I use to keep all my videos and photos on for my photography business. All of these things, every single one of these things, I have in the description below as an affiliate link. If you use those links, it's no cost to you, and you get benefit. You get well, I mean, you get the benefit of buying it. I get a benefit, and it helps me, and so it helps you by helping me so I can get more content, etc. And the Whoop strap link in particular will give you a free month of Whoop. It's like $30 a month plus tax, like $29.99 or $30 a month plus tax. And you can try it out for a month. If you return it in the first month, even if you use my code, I think you pay for like a little bit for shipping. If you can return it in the first month, and then you don't have to do anything. But if you keep it for a month, then you have to keep it. If you pay for a month, keep it over a month, then you have to keep it for like 5 or 6 months because to cover the cost of it. Because it costs. They don't charge you for the strap itself. That's covered on the subscription. So if you could try it out, use my code as a free month. You might pay like $10 for shipping or something, and then I also get a free month too. So if for everyone who uses that code to get their free month, I get a free month. So that's a good way to help the channel. One less expense for me, and then also Amazon, I get a little cut from those without any extra expense to you. So wishing you the best. Cheers. Bye.